Hey guys, what's going on dudes? It's David here. We are back with another video. Now in this video guys, we're going to be doing another NFL prediction video before the NFL season starts. I want to at least get one more team after I do this team, which will be coming out tomorrow on Monday when I'm pre-recording this. So I want to get one more team out before the NFL season starts. And I want to redo my Falcons team. So you guys will be seeing that before the NFL season starts, which is going to be on Thursday. So the Falcons video will be before Thursday, obviously, so I can get the prediction now. I mean, the first Falcons game is going to be again on Sunday, but in today's video we're going to be talking about the Falcons rival, the Tampa Bay, or should I say how Skip Bayless likes to pronounce the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even though I really honestly, I'm going to be honest guys, Tampa Bay Buccaneers in my honest opinion are really overrated. Like, Tom Brady, yes, he's a very, very good quarterback. He's probably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But does he really make the Buccaneers that really much better? And how can you go into the season? Saying Tampa Bay is going to do this when a whole bunch of things can happen? Like how we couldn't even. What happens in the NFL season didn't even happen. Then what would people have done? I mean, most sports shows would never have anything to talk about. But enough about sports shows. Let's get into the video. Let's get into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers season schedule. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers schedule is going to be right here next to me. And the first game of the season, they're going to the Saints, and it's going to be at the Saints. Now, when it came to the Buccaneers' record against the Saints, when it came to the 2019 season, the Buccaneers went 0-2 versus New Orleans Saints. And I mean, has New Orleans Saints team really gotten worse? In my honest case, not really. They still have Drew Brees. Drew Brees decided to stay on, sign a new 2-year contract with them, try and win another Super Bowl with them before he retires. So this Saints team hasn't really gotten any bad. I probably would say they are the best team in the NFC South, even though I am a Falcons fan. But I would honestly probably really say that the Saints are definitely the best team in the NFC South. And so to start off the season, I'm going to give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a loss against the Saints. But then they're going to bounce back again with a win against the Carolina Panthers. Last season against the Panthers, the Buccaneers went 1-1. But obviously this Panthers team is kind of a different team because, of course, they have Teddy Bridgewater as their quarterback now. They still have Christian McCaffrey, one of the best running backs in the NFL. But Tampa Bay has gotten a lot better. I mean, they got Rob Gronkowski, they got Tom Brady. They just signed Leonard Fournette to a 1-year deal. They still got 2 Pro Bowl wide receivers out there, and Mike Evans, and I forgot the other one's name. So I'm going to give the win to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the second game of the season. Third and fourth game of the season, I'm going to give the Buccaneers wins against the Broncos and the Chargers. At the Broncos, and then at home against the Chargers. I'd probably say the most debatable one out of these two is probably going to be the Broncos game. Because the Broncos are definitely a better team than they were last season. Of course, they added Jerry Jeudy in the draft. They added a defensive weapon, so this Broncos team is definitely a lot better than they were last season. And I'd probably say of course, they're in the Chargers division, so of course that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have to play two teams from the same divisions back-to-back weeks in the Broncos and Chargers, even though they already did that at the start of the season by playing Saints and Panthers, who are both in their division. But yeah, against the Broncos, at the Broncos, and it's really, really tough to play Mile High Stadium. So that's going to be a very, very tough game. That's the debatable game when you say if the Bucs are going to win or lose. But in this case, I'm going to give it to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then they're going to beat the Chargers, and then they're going to beat the Bears at the Bears. Now, this Bears defense is probably going to give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense a really hard time. They're going to go after Tom Brady probably a lot. So even though this Bears team is going to be decent with Nick Foles probably as starting quarterback or Mitchell Trubisky, whatever they do, it's going to be a tough prediction for them against the Bears. But I'm going to give them the win against the Bears at the Bears. But then they're going to lose against the Green Bay Packers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has not really gone downhill ever since he's been at the Green Bay Packers. I mean, yes, they did add Jordan Love in the draft. But then they still added some defensive weapons, offensive weapons. Of course, they got another running back, so that's another option for them. Of course, they still have Devontae Adams, their star wide receiver. So in this case, I'm going to give the Packers the win here at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But then they're going to go on a 2-game win streak, winning against the Raiders and the Giants. I mean, Giants and Raiders don't really have a chance of being the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so I'm just going to move past on that. I mean, if I were to look at those two teams and who I give the best shot of beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I gotta give it to the Raiders because I saw the Giants wide receiver core depth for them, and yeah, it's not good. The best thing about the Giants right now is probably Saquon Barkley. So unless Saquon Barkley can lead that team and win that game, the Buccaneers are going to get the win. But then the Buccaneers are going to get 2 losses back to back against the 2 teams they played in the first 2 games of the season. They're going to lose against the Saints. The Saints are going to sweep them like they did in 2019 because I think the Saints are definitely a better team than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when it comes to the season. But then they're going to lose again against the Panthers. This time it's going to be at the Panthers, and I feel like the Panthers are going to, by this time, the Panthers are going to be up and running with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback, Christian McCaffrey doing what he's doing good. If I remember right, they added Derek Brown in the draft with, I think, the 10th overall pick, if I remember right. So this defense is for Carolina has gotten a lot better. I mean, their offense is still really, really good. They still got very good wide receivers. They got one of the best running backs in the NFL, so I'm going to give the win to the Carolina Panthers in this situation before the Buccaneers get another win against the LA Rams. The biggest problem for the Rams when it comes to this game in terms of me not having them getting the win is due to their running game. Of course, they lost Todd Gurley, but they did have a running back in the draft. But I don't really think Jared Goff is going to be big enough or do good enough for them to be able to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers are going to win. But then the Buccaneers are going to go on a 3-game losing streak. I have them going on a 3-game losing streak, losing at home against the Chiefs, losing at home against the Vikings, and then losing away against the Falcons. Now, when they played the Falcons in 2019, they went 1-1, which means they won 1 and lost 1. Funny enough, they actually beat the Falcons at the Falcons, and then they lost at home against the Falcons. But in this instance, I'm going to give the Falcons the win in Week 14 at the Falcons. And when it comes to the Chiefs game, I mean, is there really anything to debate? The Chiefs are Super Bowl favorites. You know, like for this year, they're the defending Super Bowl champions. They got a very good team, well put together, and they're in a win now mode. Tampa Bay is in the win now mode, but I feel like the Chiefs are more ready to win the Super Bowl than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are. So I'm going to give the Chiefs the win against the Buccaneers in this instance. And then the Vikings game, which is going to be another debatable game. Now, the Vikings did surprise, of course, the Saints in the playoffs of the 2019 playoffs. And can they do that again in the regular season and surprise another NFC team? Of course, they're going to be playing the Falcons again. And I'll get into that when I redo my Falcons season predictions after looking at everything that's been happening the past couple of weeks with the Falcons. But in this instance, I'm going to give the Vikings the shock win against beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jenny Taft, who is the moderator for Skip and Shay Undisputed, she is a Vikings fan, so she's gonna be happy with this prediction if she ever sees this video, which I highly doubt she would. But the Vikings are going to beat the Buccaneers before the Falcons beat the Buccaneers at the Falcons, and then the final 2 games of the season good for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to give them the win against the Lions, and then they're going to win against the Falcons, which means they're going to split the Carolina Panthers. They're going to split the Carolina Panthers, split the Falcons, and lose both games against the teams. The other 3 teams haven't really gotten any worse. To be honest, many people have said that Carolina is in the rebuilding stage. I don't really think that's happening. I really think that Carolina is still the team that they were last season, even though they did have Cam Newton, but Cam Newton's really injured. Cam Newton's now in New England. Now they got Teddy Bridgewater, who, when he was at the Saints, he did really, really well while Drew Brees was injured. So the Panthers are not really that much a different team. The Falcons have gotten better on defense. They added Dante Fowler Jr. They added Tyler Davidson. They fixed up their offensive line. They got another quarterback, which is the position they needed. So really, the Falcons are a decent team too, and the Saints are still the same team that are still probably a better team than they were last season. They're going to be a lot improved, especially after how they went out in the playoffs, losing to the Minnesota Vikings. So yeah, that's my prediction for the Buccaneers. Now, if you guys remember the Buccaneers schedule, not the Buccaneers schedule, but the Buccaneers results from last season, they had a record of 7-9. They tied for second in division with my Atlanta Falcons after my Atlanta Falcons went 1-7 through the first half of the season, but ended up going 6-2 at the end of the season and finishing tied, but getting the better of the Buccaneers, I think, due to head-to-head or something like that. But in this instance, I'm going to have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers finishing with a record of 9-7, and probably getting a wild card, to be honest, because I think three teams from the NFC South are going to be able to make the playoffs in this instance, and I think those three teams are going to be the Falcons, the Saints, and the Buccaneers, with the Buccaneers getting a wild card pick. Because I'm just saying this once again. The Buccaneers, to be honest, I can't say to be honest, or it's a fact. In my honest opinion, the Buccaneers are really, really overrated. Like, everybody's really, really overrating them. Because what happens if the Buccaneers go on the season and, knock on wood, Tom Brady gets injured? What happens then? You guys are gonna be like, oh, Tom Brady got injured. That's why we didn't make the playoffs, or we didn't make the Super Bowl. If that happens, that happens. Just take it, and Tom Brady will return next year, and we'll see how you guys do next season. But if Tom Brady reaches the Super Bowl, fine. That's good for y'all. I give y'all props. I give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans props, and everybody who predicted Tampa Bay to make it the Super Bowl props. But that's not going to happen, because the NFC is still a tough division. The NFC South is still a tough division, and the Buccaneers are still not as well gelled as the other teams really are in terms of the offense, because even though Tom Brady's in camp right now training with Rob Gronkowski and his wide receivers and Leonard Fournette, they're all really new together. So that's gonna be a big thing when it comes to the NFL season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's why I have them going 9-7, but at least it's an improvement from when they went 7-9 last year. Not a big improvement like many people expect, but still an improvement. And they get better next season, and then next season they could probably do a lot better. And next season probably will be a season that they will end up making to the Super Bowl. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please do smash the like button. I'll be posting more sports content for you guys to see in the coming days. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. I should have a video coming out tomorrow talking about Inter Milan transfer news. So get ready for that video. But anyway, guys, I will see you guys all later. Peace.